The Long Norway Round is the history of a road trip from Ireland to Nordkapp and back, traveling most of Northern and Central Europe. My name is Roberto, and this is Adventures for Mere Mortals. In July 2019, my friend Marco and I spent 20 days on the road with our motorbikes and camping gear. In this first installment, I'll cover the first 3 days of the trip over the long motorway stretches to reach Norway as soon as possible. On July the 5th, 2019, we loaded our bikes and we hit the road.
Roberto is here.
We're ready to go. It's about time to go. We need to catch that ferry now.
Yeah, we leave at 2. We will be 1 hour early there, I guess.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We left Cork in the afternoon for the initial stretch to Oslo to catch the ferry that will transport us to Wales, where we planned to spend the first night.
First stop of our trip, we arrived in Oslo at the harbor, just checked in on the terminal, and now we are waiting for just to board on the ferry.
Crossing the St. George Channel takes roughly 3 hours and a half before we set eyes on the UK coastline.
What are you doing?
You bit better looking out of the window because there's just the UK over there.
I'm editing on my phone.
Finally got in the UK, going to fetch the bikes and be out of here really soon.
After getting off the ferry, we needed to push for a few hours to reach our hotel on the outskirts of Cardiff.
Roberto, we made it for the first stop. Ibis budget.
We covered this milestone now. I'm tired. It's just almost midnight now.
The next day, we were bound for the Eurotunnel in Folkestone. First thing in the morning, a full tank for the bikes and a hearty breakfast. We left quite early in the morning as we had a lot of road to cover, but we were in a great mood and we kept track of each other while riding across England. Approaching London, the traffic got heavier as expected, but we had plenty of time. I guess he didn't. In a world where the average age for motorcyclists is increasing, it's comforting to see that kids still react positively to bikes. Finally, we reached the Folkestone terminal, and ahead of schedule, but it's okay to show up early.
You ready? Together maybe?
Yeah.
Give you the same departure to go earlier.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you very much.
We joined a large group of motorbikes headed for France, and we boarded the train. It was actually the first time for me. You just park your vehicle and you're all set. You don't go anywhere. The 30 minutes train is the only rest we would get for the rest of the day, as we were supposed to spend the night in the Netherlands. Getting out of the train is a long operation, as you are supposed to drive all the way to the front before seeing the light again. I swear, with all those engines running, it was crazy hot inside. Finally, we made it out to the fresh air. We were finally in continental Europe and the Netherlands were waiting for us. Without wasting time, we immediately said goodbye to the other bikers and we pushed further on. Marco and I raced a little bit until I got hungry and I tried asking for a food stop. But he mostly ignored me, so I went on my way, deciding to play along with the music to kill some time. As we were riding north across Belgium, the sky turned cloudy and the air became colder, but we were against the clock to reach a special stop before heading for the camping site, so there was not a moment to lose. Eventually we met some rain, but nothing too serious, and soon the way was clear again. Our time on the motorway was coming to an end for day number 2. We were about to reach our camping site, having totaled around 830 kilometers since the morning. That was a new record for me. Since the next day would have been another massive stretch to reach Copenhagen, we decided that we would have waited another time to pitch our tents, and we settled for a caravan instead.
Today has been a very productive day. This is the real first day of the trip, even though we left yesterday. Today was, from 7 a.m. to half 8 p.m. riding with just an hour break. As we were traveling across the Netherlands, we stopped by Eastbound, that is a company in the Netherlands that provides this very handy toolkit for breaking the bead when you need to replace your tire. And we stopped by and Noel hosted us, gave us a coffee, and I got the whole kit here. I hope
While I was mumbling, Marco was about to get dinner ready to close the day.
Play around with it once I get back home. Today,
Pasta.
just an amazing carbonara pasta, like straight from the bag. Ready to eat.
You sold it immediately, like.
I hope that my mom doesn't watch this.
Another long stretch across the plains of northern Germany and Denmark was waiting for us in the morning, but shortly after leaving, we bumped into a road detour.
So we got our first detour here. Road is closed and we need to find the other way around this roundabout because we were supposed to go north from here. Let's figure it out.
We didn't immediately figure it out,
Maybe this was not the correct way.
but eventually we did and made it to Germany.
We stopped in Germany today. It's a little bit cloudy. We only covered around 150 kilometers. We need a break before taking to the next step. I think we're gonna take it to Hamburg as the next stop.
Let me tell you that the German Autobahn might be free of speed limits most of the times, but it is also boring as. Anyway, later in the morning, we stopped for lunch in Hamburg.
Roberto. It's the first time I'm in Germany since maybe 20 years. You know, my mother is German.
I remember that.
Yeah. I was born in Switzerland, my mother is German.
So you are half Italian,
Yeah.
half German.
Yeah.
I'm half Italian and I'm from Veneto. No, don't laugh, it's true. I mean, I grew up with my mom speaking with my grandmother and grandfather, and I couldn't understand most of what they were saying. And if I go there to this day, I struggle in picking up the language. So it's not that different from being half German.
Veneto is in Italy. For not the non-Italians.
Well, of course, this was only a pun for native Italians, but I have a lot of friends in Veneto, so this is for them. Especially a friend of mine, which is also named Marco, but he has an African twin. So hopefully he's gonna have a laugh over this.
After lunch, on the road to Denmark, I was falling asleep despite the music, so I decided to count the bikes overtaking me. Wait, was this the ship thing? I tried everything to distract me and keep keep me awake, but then we even got into a tunnel and I just couldn't take it anymore. I needed to do something, so as soon as we were out, I challenged Marco to a rock, paper and scissors game. As a sign that I was then fully awake, I even remembered to put my USB cable into the dashboard to charge my gear. Further on in Denmark, we eventually reached the 18 kilometers long Storebælt link, comprising 2 bridges and a tunnel. It's a hell of a drive. The side wind coming from my right was staggering, and I needed to focus a lot to keep the bike vertical. Of all the countries we drove across so far, Denmark was the first one where I had never been before, and I was so thrilled to have it now off my bucket list. And many were to come yet. Finally, Copenhagen was within reach, but our destination for the night was Roskilde, where someone special was awaiting for us. One of the reasons I decided to go to this adventure. A real demonstration of the biker's sense of fellowship.
Okay guys, so I give you a little bit of an intro for what I'm about to do right now. So 6 months ago I was flying to London, and on the plane I met a guy. This man was reading a book. It was actually Game of Thrones in Danish. I was curious and I started talking to him. We are in Denmark now, close to Copenhagen, and he's agreed over these last few months after we've stayed in touch to have us over for dinner and even host us for the night. So his lovely wife Anne and him are having us over right now. We are at his place here in Denmark, and now let's go meet John and his awesome bike collection.
Yeah, so we were just talking about the adventure that John had in Poland.
Yeah.
They fixed his bike and then they brought it all the way from Poland to here. Yeah.
This is amazing.
They
Now,
look like
in a few minutes we're gonna have dinner together and then we'll arrange for the night. It's gonna be fun.
It's been really refreshing for us to be greeted by this warm hospitality, which normally people don't expect from people from the Nordic country in Europe, but that's just nonsense. They greeted us over for dinner.
Yeah.
They showed us around the town, like the Viking Museum. Even if it was 11 p.m., they insisted to go for a walk with us.
They have jobs, so this morning they were supposed to be at work at 7. Instead, they were there waiting for us to give us a hug. Really warm welcome this morning. We had a really nice breakfast too. I have no words. I mean, it was so nice to be there.
This went really beyond any possible expectation other than just having a meal together.
Yeah.
It became like a family meeting at some point.
Yeah, they really didn't want to let us go, it seemed like. Right, so
It's about time to get to Sweden now.
now we have to get to Sweden. It's gonna be another 700 kilometers today. Right, we will be in Oslo in some campsite. So
Let's go.
let's go. Of course, 30 seconds after we left the petrol station, it started pouring down the hell on us. Jesus, let's get the rain gear.
So we suited up in our rain gear and we hurried towards the Øresund Bridge for Sweden. It felt like the rain was trying to make up for 3 days straight without a single drop. Finally, we found shelter from the rain in the tunnel under the sea. We made it to Sweden.
So this was funny. We left Denmark, it was not raining, then it was raining, like pouring rain for 30 kilometers, no more than it. Then we crossed the bridge. Now we are just in Sweden at the customs, and it's, well, it's not sunny, but it's not raining anymore. It's warm, so it's nice. Well, we are kind of soaked wet already by only 20 minutes of rain, but it's not too bad. We're gonna fix that.
Being again in the sun quickly boosted our spirit, looking forward to ending the first section of the trip and reaching Norway for the night. On the plains of southern Sweden, along the long straight motorway, only loads of wind turbines and fancy vehicles?
It's already the second shopping center he's taking me to.
Yeah, but this is not even IKEA, even though we are in Sweden now.
I mean, it's a proper shopping center.
To buy, you know what? A marker.
Such a shitty job. Like, I thought he would wait until we get to the camping site so he could do it properly. No,
I could still fix that, okay?
he doesn't even know if he can delete that.
That's not important now.
Usually people say I didn't go to bathroom since this morning, right?
Right.
We say we didn't go to bathroom since the 5th of July.
Record that? do we actually need to record that? I don't think it was necessary.
Roberto's chatting with an Argentinian guy.
Yes, we're chatting with Gabriel. He's in Norway. He left Dublin before us, but he's going to a slower pace, so we are like chasing him down right now.
Yeah.
But he's ahead of us, so at least a couple of days, maybe more.
Yeah, it would be nice to meet up with him.
Yeah. Hopefully when I meet Gabriel after Nordkapp, probably. Maybe on our way down to Finland.
After a couple of hours, we had an intervention break in a picnic area close to the border.
322 kilometers until we get to Oslo.
300?
Yeah, it's quite a distance. How do you feel about that?
I don't know, Marco. It's been 3 days that we've been doing this trip now. We talked a lot about this, and every day now it's been like making new decision every hour, not having control over things. I think it's too much pressure on this.
I didn't expect you to say that.
Why?
Are you serious?
I'm just saying what I feel right now. The vibe that I'm getting from these days so far.
So what should we do?
I don't know. Do you think that we should go on or go back?
Well, I thought it was positive. I was enjoying it.
Okay, so you know the funny thing about all of this is that everything that I've just said is not true.
Fuck you.
The first leg of the trip was about to end. We couldn't wait for the real adventure to begin the next day in Norway. The fjords, the ferries, and the insane roads. It was real. By dusk, we reached the camping site and pitched our tents for the first time. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe to not miss the next episode of the Long Norway Round.